Most email marketing agencies, their operations and client delivery systems are a total mess, and it keeps the owner trapped and stuck in client work and client delivery. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through my ClickUp system and my agency FlowCandy and how we've used it to scale to over 7 figures in revenue and how it's allowed me to escape client fulfillment and client delivery, and it just basically runs on autopilot. And in today's video, guys, I'm going to link through this entire map here so you can download it and look through it. And you'll be able to pull it up yourself and go through it. Just click the link in the description and you'll be able to get it. But I want to start with why I chose ClickUp. I think ClickUp is probably the best platform right now I'm seeing in terms of managing tasks across team, managing SOPs, checklists, and stuff like that. There's certainly other ones, Asana, Trello, Monday.com. We chose ClickUp. Also, ClickUp's a little bit cheaper than some of those options too. But that's why we chose it, and why we've scaled on that platform. And I know a lot of other email marketing agencies that are using it too. Now within ClickUp, there's something that's really important. There's called spaces. Okay, so these are like the sort of the giant folders you use to organize ClickUp. And in my agency, we basically have 5 or 6 spaces. Okay, so the first space is our process library, which I'll get into in a second. Every single one of our squads has its own space too. And then in those spaces, there are folders and lists. Okay, so each one of our 4 or 5 pods has a space. And then we have our operations and HR team has a space. Our sales and marketing team has a space. And then we have an archive. So that's sort of a space where it's basically an archive folder where we put anything we're no longer using. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of core spaces. And then depending upon how many pods and squads you have in your email marketing agency, you'll have a space for each one of those. Okay. Now I'll start with probably the most important space, and the one where I see a lot of agency owners don't have, and this keeps them trapped in fulfillment, is they don't have a process library. Okay. So this is really important. Okay. So within your process library, you kind of want to have a couple different folders. All right. You want to have a playground, which is where your team, it's almost like a staging environment. If you think about from a coding background, where your team can play around with anything, they can screw up anything here. Okay. So that's important. You have SKU templates. So if you've watched any of my videos, and I'm going to link to a video below, my video on how to get to how to build a $30,000 a month email marketing agency, I talk about how you really want to only have 3 core products. You really only need 3 core products, maybe even 2 core products to scale. And why you want that is because every time you sell one of those products, you can just clone the template over and over and over again, and that'll get you out of that helps you really get out of fulfillment, or really get out of client delivery. Okay. So every time we make a sale, like on one of these 3 products, and I'll link the video below, we just duplicate this template, and then therefore like the system runs, on autopilot basically. Okay. Then we have all of our delivery checklists. Okay. So I talk about this a little bit in other videos. There's a difference between checklists and SOPs. So checklists are sort of the tasks that you do over and over and over again. They need to follow the exact same process. And then SOPs are kind of like guides, where there's a little bit of subjectivity to it. So we have all of our checklists and SOPs housed here. There are some like more sensitive checklists and SOPs, like in our operations and HR department, that we'll put in another space. Like, for example, how to run payroll or something like that. We don't want the team to have access, like the whole team to have access to that, because there's a lot of sensitive data there. But most of our delivery, our marketing, and operational checklists are here. If you're running an email marketing agency, you need to have a checklist for every time you do a new flow, every time you do a new campaign, every time you do a new A/B test. Also, there's some other more granular things we're known for, like doing email design systems, journey mapping, building opt-ins. creating campaign calendars. Like you need to have checklists for every single one of these. Um, within our marketing department, obviously we're creating blog posts, lead magnets, we're doing emails, we're doing landing pages, YouTube videos, ads. So we have checklists for all of that. Operations, whenever we need to make a new hire, do a new case study, terminate a client, terminate or separate with an employee. When we build out a new pod, we have a checklist we go through. So that's really important. And then within our SOPs, these are like SOPs that are a little bit more, where they're a little bit more kind of like subjective. It's more of like a guide, not like an exact checklist that you're going to follow every time. Like how to do a journey map, how to run a stand up, how to do a tactical, how to give a team feedback, team meeting, how to give clients feedback, how to run client calls, how to fill out scorecards or growth cards. So we have SOPs on all of this stuff. Same within our sales and marketing, how to manage our pipeline, how to do an audit, how to lead score, how to run a daily stand up, how to, when you make a sale, how to hand it off to our delivery team. So all of these like these core workflows that happen within our business, we have SOPs and checklists for every single one of them. Okay. And what that allows you to do as an owner is it allows you to eventually you can map out all these like workflows via an SOP or checklist. And what that allows you to do is it allows, once they're documented, it allows you to exit the workflow because you can now hand that off to somebody. Okay. So this process library is a really, really important folder. If you are stuck in your agency, like especially stuck doing client strategy, stuck in client work, it's probably because you haven't sat down and mapped out every single process, every single workflow that you're doing. And on top of that, maybe you have, but the quality isn't good enough and you haven't been able to find somebody, you haven't been able to hand that off to somebody, and the system isn't good enough. So really important, really strong process library space is really, really important. Okay. Some other things we do too is also we have training plans. So whenever we make a new hire, we basically duplicate a list in the training plan folder, and we just show them, okay, it's like basically they go through this when they first onboard. So getting to know Slack, getting to know ClickUp, getting to know LastPass, getting to know their Gmail, their Slack profile, getting to know our values. We then have role breakout training. So like a designer will go down this path, an account manager will go down that path. Then we have check-ins. So basically we have a full, like almost like project for every new hire. So therefore they get onboarded and ramped up really, really quickly, because in my experience, what happens is a lot of agency owners, if they ever get to a point where they can escape client delivery, they then get trapped somewhere else, like HR or sales or marketing. And a lot of them have a hard time really with HR in my experience. So this training plan really helps new hires get up to speed fast. Within our client pods, okay, so these are the other spaces, I'm going to come back to why we have in the process library these lists of our SKUs or our service offerings templated out, because when we make that sale, we just create a new folder under that pod. Let's say this pod got a new client today. We would make a new folder for that client. Then we would just clone that list and ClickUp, and it has all of the task and checklists already in there. So things like start date, end date, like their Google Drive folder, the original audit that we did for them, our kickoff call. When we do that, we'll put the recording in there. We'll have all of the checklists that we need to set the client and kick the client off. We'll have all of the deliverable templates, like our new campaign checklist, flow checklist, campaign calendar checklist. If we want to do a case study, we'll have a checklist in there. If we do a post-mortem, where it's like the client is eventually, we're going to separate with the client because the project is done, we'll have that. And we might even have an upsell and cross-sell checklist for sales to come in. So if we need to like renew that that client. So we have everything already templated out there for every new client. It's not like we're just creating new tasks and stuff as we go. Everything is nice and templated out. So really, really important to do that. The next thing, and then we have that for every single project. Okay, so this is a low ticket downsell. And again, guys, I link in another video why I think you need 3 core offerings, like a low ticket downsell, a 30, 90-day project, and then a recurring project. Okay, so there's 3 sort of core offers I think every email marketing agency needs to scale. And I talk about it in the video. I'll link to it in the description below on how to build a $30,000 email marketing agency. But as you can see, it just depends on how many pods you have. And then we get into the operations and HR space. And I think there's a little bit, it's very similar to what's going on kind of in the process library, but there's a couple other key workflows and systems we have in here. So first off, we have the very sensitive sort of HR checklists and tasks that are going on, whether it's hiring new team members, separating with team members, separating with clients, sending out invoices, doing searches for new candidates if we're making a new hire. Okay. We also have these sensitive SOPs, like how to invoice, how to do how to pay W-9s, how to troubleshoot client billing, how to run payroll, how to do team bonuses, like how to do the operational reporting. We also have SOPs on how to recruit every single role in our business. So you need to think about every single job title you have in your agency and have SOPs or checklists on how to replace those people. Okay, that helps you truly get out of HR as a business owner. Another thing that we have too that's really, really important is we have a talent pipeline. So just like how we have a sales pipeline, which I'll probably talk about in a second, we have a talent pipeline. So at any given time, we are always recruiting people. Okay, and there are different stages those candidates are in. All right, so our stages are normally it's like they fill out an application and there's interview 1, 2. Then we normally do a paid test task. Then we'll do a reference check, and then we'll either make a decision to hire them, reject them, or if they're a good candidate, but maybe we found someone just a little bit better, or they're a good candidate and it turns out we just can't make that hire right now, we'll keep them in what we call our talent pool, which is like a sort of a pool of talent that we could tap into whenever we need to make a hire. All right, so that's how we do it. I've heard other people call it like a talent bench, but this is like a big core process, big core workflow going on in our HR department. And then we have SOPs basically on how to manage that and also how to recruit on certain platforms. We recruit on Upwork, we recruit on LinkedIn. Our website gets a lot of candidates coming in. We're on different job boards. So we have SOPs on how to recruit all of those different platforms. Okay. So that's basic snapshot of our operations and HR department space. The next space is our sales and marketing space. In my experience, like once you get to like, you can get to like 60K revenue, probably without a lot of sales and marketing or HR, but to get from like 60 to 100, and then once you get over 100K, it's really in my opinion, it's keeping fulfillment or delivery kind of on track, but it really becomes like an HR and sales type of business, like scaling those sort of workflows and teams. And within our sales and marketing department, what we have is we have typically the tasks that we're doing from a sales perspective, which is like whenever we win a new sale, we got to go through a checklist. So that's just like how we hand off the new sale to delivery. So there's no fumbles or balls dropped there. We also have a checklist to sweep our pipeline, just because we have a very active pipeline. New leads are coming in a lot. Then we also have our marketing task, which is probably, there's a lot more stuff going on in marketing, I would say. Sales is more like one-to-one, but marketing, there's a lot of things going on. And we have a full campaign calendar mapped out. Every month for our marketing department, we have a full campaign calendar. And within that month, we're doing lead magnets, ads, newsletters, new automations, social posts, website updates, webinars, joint ventures, We might not be doing all of those every month, but we have checklists and SOPs on how to do that, and it's all planned out in a monthly sort of calendar, just like how we map out, if you're watching this, you're an email marketing agency, just how we map out our clients' campaign calendar. We do that for ourselves within our own marketing department. Okay, so this is basically how we have it all set up. And then lastly, we have our archive space, which is just a sort of like a giant archive folder that I'm not going to jump into, but whenever we have an old client, or we put all our ex clients in, or all our ex employee stuff in there, just in case, like, and it happens every once in a while. An old client will come back and ask for something, or an old team member will come back and ask for something. We have it all in our archive folder, and it's easy to find. So that is the entire system in a nutshell, guys. Again, I'm going to link to this this whimsical board in the description, so you can easily get it and just kind of go through it on your own. But yep, let me know if you have any questions. You can always DM me, guys, on LinkedIn. I'll link to my LinkedIn, and you can always email me at will@flowcandy.com. And stay tuned, guys. I will see you in the next video.